This is Trenont, and this is Path of Exile Necropolis League, our slow playthrough. This is kind of a pseudo let's play. It's recorded live, so I will be interacting with chat on occasion. But mostly, we're going to use this to explain PoE and play through it slowly. Apricot Trin is here, named because that's about the amount of damage I'm doing. Which is conducive for a slow playthrough, arguably, though we might need to speed it up for progressing through maps. I'm going to take this time to mention that maps are kind of a vibe check, in that what they really do is test stronger builds, and there's kind of this exponential scaling of both enemy difficulty and player power that goes into mapping. That I don't know if it's that present in maps, but it's or that present in the campaign. Like, you can get absurdly powerful in the campaign. That's no question. I kind of tempted to do a second playthrough with that in mind. That'll be way shorter than this one. But I think more so, maps are really like where, if you're not going fast, the game does become a little bit more spicy, a little bit harder. Or maybe you just need to play more, who knows. There's one thing I want to change about this build. Last we were playing a Lancing Steel champion, though I hear Splitting Steel is better. Let me just swap weapons a little bit. And we do have Splitting Steel here. Let me see how much damage this does. So, I think I'm going to swap Vicious Projectiles with Returning Projectiles as a trade-off. This is 12,000 DPS, this is 25,000. Will that actually... Now, the only thing is we lose Call of Steel, and I like Call of Steel, so let's be stubborn. But PoE Ninja does seem to favor Splitting Steel for champion. Maybe there's a Splitting Steel variant that is... I know there's a Transfigure gem that has a Call of Steel Splitting Steel variant. We don't have that gem, so we're not going to bother with it. Double checking all my auras, all my skills are okay. So last we left off, I did a good bit of tier 6 maps, but we still have some left. We have Waterways, Basilica, and Shore. We also encountered the Maven, who made us fight 3 bosses at once that we collected from the tier 6 maps. Now we have to go all the way to the tier 8 plus maps. I'd say, if I had a criticism of maps, I have a few, but one of my biggest ones is that somewhere around here, after the tier 6s, but before, like, tier 9 or so, tier 8 or 9, the game kind of has a dry period of story progression. And while the story doesn't necessarily matter, it's also kind of a dry period of, like, content progression. Like, ultimately you're just doing maps without really any substance right now. So I'll try to make this episode interesting, but it certainly might have some challenges in terms of extra content throwing at us. Now that's maybe fair, because we still have all of the random events that'll pop up, like Jun. One way you can check how many different events there are these nodes here. One thing on the Atlas skill tree I haven't talked about is how you can actually block content with these 10 nodes. You basically say, like, oh, I don't want to do breaches. Well, you can use Dimensional Barrier, and all breach content will be turned off on the tree. And the reward for that is there's extra stuff of other events. There's that for breaches, abysses, expedition. I think we've explained all of these. Breaches are the circles. Maybe we haven't done that. Sacred Grove, Legion. I think we've encountered all of those. Ritual, we've done that. Blight, we've done that. Ultimatum, we've encountered that dude. Delirium, encountered that person's, and then a heist, yeah. There's other content outside of that, but that's the main few. Hey, let's check Undertaker here more. Oh, you have plenty of Necropolis left. So let's take a look here. Crit, extra damages fire, avoid impale. I don't want to deal with that, especially with less recovery rate. I think avoid, by the way, actually isn't the same as reduced chance. So just every third hit with there's basically a 1 in 3 chance that my Lancing Seal just doesn't impale enemies. It's not, even if I have a 100% chance or 135, it doesn't reduce that chance, it just has an extra avoidance layer. It's kind of obnoxious. Well, I think Scaring Orbs are less pricey than Chaos Orbs, so at least in my current usage. We are playing SSF right now, and we'll keep going until I really feel constrained by it. This is fine. Chill Ground is a little annoying, but not beatable, but not unbeatable. Yeah, we can do this. Waterways. We have Scarabs, don't we? I don't know if Scarabs actually matter. Have I explained Beyond yet? A little bit. Yeah, we'll just keep going. We have a bunch of content we can pick from, but Fortune Favorites of Brave is an interesting one. Just picks one of these at random, but the only problem is, including ones that we haven't unlocked, so like there's more than these available. Well, it costs 3 chaos, and there's no real focus, like you're just randomly picking something, and it doesn't, even if it's cheaper necessarily, it's like technically not really useful. So we'll just go for the 4% increased quantity of items. Regenerate life. Let's put that on the Carrion Burrowers. Freeze is a little annoying. Freeze is going to be annoying. We'll suffer it. I might think of using a aura that makes me immune to freeze, but thing is, I'd have to plant other auras and stuff, and that's tricky. Quantity of items, quantity of items. Yeah, this is fine. And what all flames do we have? Anarchy and Sulfite. Let's try Anarchy. We'll fight a ton of rogue exiles today. Alright. So I just swapped out returning projectiles with Vicious, so I attack faster but do less damage per hit. But my projectiles return to me, which is actually pretty powerful. Because all returning projectiles pierce. Anyways, here is Armios Bell. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of rogue exiles popping up. Igna Phoenix used to be a very rough enemy. She has Sharon's wrapping on and can't die, can't like chaos damage, doesn't bypass her energy shield, but she has very low health. And here's Syndicate.
Guess I was better as a merchant than a fighter.
And Riker's gonna run away. We don't have time for it. Alas. Alright. Guff. Betray. This is where Betray really comes in handy. Where you get rival intervention intelligence and stuff. So yeah, you basically always pick the right... okay, Barichi, that's great. You always pick the right option unless it removes the person from the Syndicate in some way. I rarely, if ever, use Interrogate, because it de-ranks them, tends to swap them out of the Syndicate if they're already low rank, and lowers their rank and puts them out of play for a little bit. It's actually not worth the trade most of the time. Unless you really just want to immediately rush and tell like the hideout, and eventually the mastermind. Even then, I don't think it's worth it that much. Rogue Exiles can be kind of tricky, so you gotta watch out for that. I think my Golem died. My Golem absolutely did die. Is that Inga Phoenix again? That absolutely is. How rude. This reminds me of a map later down the line called Precinct, which has a bunch of Rogue Exiles in it. Yeah, so... Rogue Exiles are pretty tricky, especially in a wide enough group. There's actually an area in Delve, an encounter you can come across that has 6 of them at once, and it's actually pretty tricky. Not the most dangerous encounter, but up there. Diamond Rain? Well, we don't crit, so that's pointless. Let's see. I don't think we need Serpent Scale either. The real threat I'd want to watch out for is a guy named Ulysses Morvant, who likes to do chaos damage with a skill called Essence Drain, along with some reduced chaos resistance gear, or skill called Wither. So it's hard to see with Lancing Steel, but you can see that my projectiles are returning. It kind of has while it does say it's less damage, it doesn't say more damage at all on its stats. It actually is a huge damage increase, even with the reduced returning projectile penalty. Barracus Practice Sanct. I haven't heard of this one. I think it's Forbidden Rite and Gas Inoculation. Yeah. Must be a new one. The Chaos Res is okay. I think Ulysses isn't going to necessarily murder us. Something dropped that's rare. Oh, did the Anarchy one drop? Yeah. Rogue Exiles can be decent, farming, assuming you can handle them okay. They have a high item drop rate, so they're good for finding stuff. Ancient Greaves. So if my inventory is anywhere close to full, I tend to warp out before I do a Syndicate Laboratory. Because they tend to drop gear and I like keeping it in my inventory. I don't know, I'm silly like that. Alright, what about you? Biz Converted is pretty valuable on a league start if you're trading with other players. You can actually sell veiled items to other players and they'll buy it from you for a decent amount. Fizz damage reduction while focus sounds okay to me. We don't care about Fizz conversion at all because we are not doing anything but physical damage. Vendor all of these items, none of them are particularly good. And continuing forth we go. So again, for research, you don't really have enough time to kill all the enemies unless you are super fast and super damaging. It's far better just to rush to the Syndicate member.
Let's kill this selfish mouth
and just murder him instead. Petrification statue.
Beg for your life, Perandus.
Petrification is one of the very few things in the game that can't be turned off without, like, one of the hardest things to mitigate in the game to become immune to. So that's a thing where we don't want to betray. You don't want to pick the right option because it removes Riichi. So neither of these are good. So, and interrogation's not really great either. So we'll just release Giannis and Riichi's left. And we got a much better option there. Research intel. Old Chaos failed, eh? Let's see if Jen has anything to say about this. Mana and regen mana per second. Life and mana regen is actually good. Area effect doesn't matter for us. Well, Lord of Steel, Call of Steel kind of does. The resistances in this are kind of okay, but otherwise not really a good amulet at all. So we'll just vendor it. Later. Biggest giant bone I recall kind of hitting hard. Kind of forget. He is healing, annoyingly enough. Oh, this guy, the cleave guy, actually pretty dangerous. He's using an MTX, by the way. A lot of the Rogue Exiles use microtransactions to kind of tease players like this skill could look like this for you. They also have pets a lot of the time. But none of the obnoxious ones. Lightning Totem minions are very much worth murdering early. If you see an enemy with Lightning Totem minions, you gotta kill the rare to stop it from appearing. Valentia Rack likes to do mirror arrows. We gotta deal with her mirror copy. One thing that's special about Rogue Exiles is they always drop a full set of inventory, interestingly enough. This is a minion caster. I think this is the one casting vulnerability, and some pretty powerful golems, actually. Should be noted items are kind of a darker tinge of yellow now, and starting in tier 6 maps. That's because they can become item level 75 or higher. Item level 75 or higher items can be sold in a full set of inventory gear, like Chaos Orbs can, except they sell for the Chaos Orb recipe, except they give Regal Orb recipe. Item level 60 or higher rares sold in a full character equipment slots gives Chaos Orbs, whereas if there's 75 or higher, it's Regal Orbs, and if there's a mix and match, it's whichever one's lower. If it's lower than level 60, it gives Chance Orbs, but nobody uses it for that because Chance Orbs aren't that hard to get. In fact, Regal Orbs aren't really valued that much either, so people tend to use that recipe for Chaos Orb farming or very early on in a league, if they just want to immediately trade with Chaos Orbs for something super fast. It used to be kind of viable to do this, to farm for Chaos Orbs, like, yeah, within a day, maybe 2 days in a league. Nowadays, you don't want to do that for more than the first few hours at best. This person's very immune to damage. I forgot that this build does no damage. Like, this is an interestingly slow build to play. Very tanky, though, for its level. At least so far. There's always exceptions. Especially since some enemies can roll a nasty modifier called Overwhelm Physical overwhelm physical damage reduction, which essentially mitigates all defense against physical. If you have armor and endurance charges, the only way to mitigate that damage is to convert your damage taken as a different element, which is a stat you can roll in this game. In fact, one of the Syndicate members gives the crafting recipe for it. I think 2 of the Syndicate members do, actually. Different ones for different body equipment slots. Riker, or Coral Goya is one of them, actually. He does it for the helmets. Who's alive? Riker is.
Every time you kill me, I just come back stronger.
Ah, there's Necromancer. Taking decent damage here. Alright, Dorgan? Let's see, what's Riker at? Coral.
Like the phoenix.
Execute. No dice on the Coral's craft. Jorgen. Betray is nice, because they'll come in and attack the other member. And more trusting.
Trusting this Riker Maloney feels like a mistake. But I see no better.
Again, we're just doing Syndicate to unlock crafting recipes. That's the biggest draw of Syndicate members. You know, I say I'm tanky, and then I'm getting chunked to my health a little bit here. Oh, there's a voodoo doll. That explains it. Yeah, I think Splitting Steel might ultimately be the better role. Because Call of Steel, unfortunately, just, yeah, it is Call of Steel. Lancing Steel relies on Call of Steel, and Call of Steel is an extra cast that you're standing still with. Splitting Steel does more upfront damage. Lancing Steel has more clear, arguably.
4 rounds should be an easy mark to beat.
Alright, we'll put a portal up before I fight Trial Master, because Trial Master is probably the most lethal enemy of all. Well, Trial Master's minions, specifically. Portal... No, wrong button. Portal up.
Ruin seeks you.
Choking Miasma.
Read the miasma, if you can.
Blistering Cold, I would say.
It's cold indeed.
The Stormcaller Runes has an argument for it. Alright, I'm keep going until I get a Catalyst, I think, is the best idea.
You will fall to
And then stop there. Survive is honestly probably the best mod we could have rolled. And I think I'm good here. Well, I could keep going a little bit.
miasma spreads.
I can't do this just yet.
Yeah, let's take the
The
rewards.
safe choice.
Catalyst. Yeah, we're not ready yet for full-on ultimatum. Our damage is just too low, and our defenses aren't the best here. I think it may come to a point where I need to switch to two-handers. And frankly, maybe axes. I think that would be a fair change. So we're close to the boss of Waterways. Waterways boss is kind of like, is unlike the Crow from Channel. You notice Waterways is just a daytime version of Channel. Is the Fragment of Winter. The map device recipe beyond. Nice. Heist as well. Anything else? Legion. Anything else? Ultimatum. Wow, they're just throwing them at me. And Kirak gave us a mission. Alright, so we want pillage and plunder, I want to say. No, it's Test of Loyalty. Whoops. Oh well. Oh yeah, I wanted to get effective leadership and bribery. Silly me. Alright, well we'll do those next time. Or next map. And we're done with this map, so. Alright, identify our items. And no new maps yet. So I'm going to put up all the items that don't seem to matter. Alright, let's vendor the nonsense stuff. I don't think these Goliath gauntlets really help me. Neither does this two-stone ring. Alright, and just checking veiled item. And let's unveil some items. Arcane Surge is kind of neat for a spellcaster, but likely doesn't matter for me. I'm just going to unlock the stuff I haven't unlocked yet. On my main playthrough, I've basically unlocked all the crafting recipes from Jun, barring some rare few. Okay, next up. So, we're looking for Shore and Basilica. Surely we'll find those. Let's see if Siege will help us out with this. Nope. Let's see if Kirak will help us with this. And then Orbs of Horizon, maybe. We have 8 of those, actually. So we'll do a Kirak mission if we can. Well, first, let's purchase items if we have any. None of them are low tier. So we're looking for Shore and Basilica. Sometimes maps can actually roll that aren't of different tiers that are actually lower tier than they should be. It's kind of strange that. But we have a unique map here, Vaults of Itziri. And this is actually a fun map. Vaults of Itziri has no monsters in it, well, except for the occasional Tormented Spirit. Its big gimmick is that found items, basically, no, chests have increased item rarity, so you get a lot of rare items just by clicking them from opening chests. It's very silly, that. There's one mastery on the skill tree that auto-opens. Also, items get corrupted when you do this. There's found items have a chance of being corrupted as well because it's at Ziri, and Ziri's all about corruption. And all you do to win is just click this vessel. You get a lot of foul items. Oh, we got Highwayman. I'll pick up some of these at least. Evasion and cold. Fire, armor, evasion. This might be an upgrade in some ways. Fire resist. Tempting. No life roll on it though. But armor and evasion's very welcome. And Enduring Eternal Mana Flask is also nice for a campaign. Right now we've kind of solved our mana issues, so last not so great. Alright, we're going to go for... what other betrayal nodes are there? There's reinforcement chance. Let me see Jun. 94% chance to contain Jun. Where's the last percent? Oh, it's right here. Oh, we can guarantee Jun. Might as well. Alright, from now on, Syndicate will appear in our maps. And we got some sacrifice fragments, which is fun. I don't know if we'll run them, but let me see. Yeah, we don't have the final sacrifice fragment anyways. Val Absolution, one of the newer Val skills. Very fun. Mercenary Slot's like a mark skill. It's actually not bad, but it's not really great either. I kind of want to keep this because I could manipulate it. Get around. This is vendor fodder though. Alright, and the whole point of that was to see if Kirak will sell us maps we need. No. You got a Vaults of Aziri again, that's kind of funny.
Now that you've had
Right, yeah. All these are completed. Again, I want Shore and Basilica. None of these are that.
long day.
Because I want to do the maps in order. I don't know, I'm stubborn like that. Yeah, we don't even have the extra Kirak Atlas missions. Yeah, it might behoove me to do, Atlas scouting reports. Planner Tactician's actually a really good one. Frankly, extra reconnaissance is good too. Well, let's see. I think my final gambit is to Orb Horizon some of this. Tower, done. Sure, new one. Okay. 2 unique bosses, Consecrated Ground. That's actually a little scary for me. Well, it's not scary, it's just tedious. We'll do it anyways. We have the Sulfite still. Chisels, I want those. Swap you around. Alright, so Consecrated Ground gives enemies life regeneration and curse, reduced curse effect. So it can be very tedious to deal with that life recovery if you don't have much damage.
Group with backup is twice as fearsome.
Please stop moving, Chimera.
Pretty good. Talker. My head still hurts. Practice makes perfect.
Alright, Chimera. That's a good betrayal option. So, betray, Hillock, Intel, that's fine. Should be getting interventions right about now.
To beat us, brute. Dishonorable. expect nothing less from you, Varichi.
My head still hurts.
Oh, we finally caught Riker.
Again, we can arrive at an accord.
Hondo Accord? Anyways. Execute heal up, get the rank up. Richie's already max. Betray is fine. And we're very close to full intervention intelligence, which is excellent. You know, of all the Steel skills, I feel like Lancing is the one that needs Call of Steel least. It's kind of funny that way. Because it hits so much that the Impales basically are going off no matter what. Whereas Call of Steel detonates all the Impales at once. It's like, why would you have Lancing Steel be the choice there? Who knows? I guess because it has such a long range, the idea is that you AoE, you have more coverage with Call of Steel as a result. And it also has the most consumption of shards per hit. So that could be a factor. Shore is actually a pretty decent map layout. It's just basically a descending set of plateaus. And at the bottom there's a shipwreck and a pirate boss that we'll see. Kind of Fairgraves-ish, if you remember that Act 1 enemy. Again, we're full in inventory, so I'll take the time to warp out to genify some items.
Exile?
Image per endurance charge is kind of neat. Line throwing speed, why not? Don't care about elemental pin, but we'll get it nonetheless. Evasion regenerates life while focus. Neat. And that's all the... oh, one more veiled item. Global crit multiplier. Alright. None of these stand out as good. Neither does this. Oh, if you sell an item with the same name, you get a chance orb back. Actually, this is not a bad one. What's... full suffixes, so... we'll get the chance orb just to demonstrate it. Alright, back to the shore. We have a Syndicate lab to find. And again, the goal is to rush to the end.
Last, a chance to drive a sword through that Piranda's skull. Humanity has left you, Riker. Eyes sharp, like assassin on the sword.
You win. Let's parlay. I want another moment of
Oh, we got them all. Even with Consecrated Ground.
I'm afraid the
Get Riker to rank 3. Yanis, no. Good morning. Both of these are bad betrayal options, so we'll release Riker. Remove all rivalries I also don't like picking, because that means less Syndicate members, so we'll release Forichi too. That green highlight there indicates the loot filter saying that's a Forichi's special craft and not just a regular veil drop. It's kind of neat. So, one thing I might check and see is if I have a microtransaction skill effect for Lancing Steel. It actually would be very helpful if I could see my shards better. They're kind of tiny and hard to notice. What is going on with this? These rocks are so tight together that they're actually, my pathfinding is bugging out on them. Yeah, but turning projectiles does seem to be a damage. Divine is the only one you can think of for skill effects. I'll have to, I think I have it. If not, well, I have spare points from the store. We do not talk about how many spare points I have. Alright, so here's the boss. The Fairgraves kind of style. Belzer the Pirate Lord does spectral throw attacks. Halfway through the... what a really tinky character. Partway through the fight, some tormented spirits go and possess him. Oh yeah, there's 2 unique bosses, that's right. No wonder I was like, why can't I kill them? Because I was fighting 2 at once. And the fight gets a little sillier with the tormented spirits in play. I think there are unique tormented spirits too, like bootlegger spirits. And we got a few uniques because tormented spirits increase item rarity. And if you open up the treasure, skeletons pop out. They don't actually really give much good loot. We got a passive point. Let's go to Betrayed Veiled item chance. Because that's the whole point of Syndicate right now. Failed items. Not seeing anything except maybe the Hydra Scale Gauntlet, so we have enough failed items, and I'm not that keen on getting upgrades. And with 2 monsters left, we can finish this map. Femur of the Saints is a kind of like Zoomancer, like Necromancer with a lot of different types of minions, staff. It's not particularly valued these days because people usually specialize in one Spectre now. I don't know, maybe there's some build for it. Not keen enough. Well, you know, I'm looking for upgrades. I just don't think that pair of gloves is going to be worth picking up to see if it's an upgrade. Patrolly is pretty fun. It's physical damage mace at low level, and the big thing is if you kill enemies with it, they explode, dealing their life as fire, so it's an exploding pancake maul. I like to call it the candy apple, because... let's see if I can show it. Quattroli does look like it's just a caramel apple on a stick, so I call it candy apple. And then Rigwald's Charge. Movement speed if you killed recently is kind of a boring unique. And that's all your uniques. So we got a stacked deck. I guess this is our first one. This is kind of fun. It just picks a random div card from any that you can possibly get dropped in the game except for boss stack decks. Or boss uniques, I forget. I think any divination card that gives a boss exclusive item can't drop from stack decks anymore, but you got Divination Distill It. That's actually not a bad divination card. You can actually sell divination, those stack decks to other players, because players in this game love to gamble. So they'll pay premium for items that aren't inherently that worth it, just to gamble a lot. Those stack decks used to actually be beneficial because they're if you opened up a huge amount of them, you're likely to get returns. Not necessarily the case anymore. I haven't followed the stacked deck meta per se this league, with the recent change that non-boss uniques, or only that boss uniques don't appear from them. John, unveil some items for me while I ramble. Trigger Socket Spell. This is very good for casters a lot of the time that don't, or especially minion builds that don't really care about a powerful wand or powerful weapon. They tend to have the auto cast wand here. It's actually pretty good for not me. Melee gem strike range. That would be good for a melee build. We are not melee. We are melee attack base, melee weapon base, just not melee damage. It's very silly. 10% chance to block spell damage. Sure, why not? And the rings. I'm up fire and chaos. And this Power ring. Apparently it's pronounced like Powa, or something, and I keep saying Powa. I don't know the difference. It's kind of hard for me to pronounce it very specifically. And none of those are actually upgrades either. I find Veiled items to be okay half upgrades sometimes. The unveiling an item actually gives it a stronger version than the crafted version you can get, amazingly enough. So that's fun to think about. These Goliath gauntlets are good. I forgot about that part. Why have I not used this Eternal Sword yet? I guess because I haven't rolled... Actually, I think it's a downgrade. Yeah. We don't have the Impale. Yeah, never mind. I might vendor this. I'm gonna have to manage my items sometime. I might do that off air. Alright, so we have a few more maps to try. We have 7 burial chambers, actually. This is a good time as any to try the 3-to-1 recipe. Oh, there's Basilica. First try. Our final tier 6. I have no idea why I used Cartographer Jizzles there. That was just instinctively because I'm doing that for my late game character. Reflect elemental damage. Pretty sure I can survive that. Because my main source of damage does no elemental damage. Less cooler recovery rate. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And my leap slam, yeah. Okay, we're fine. We'll run Basilica. Block attacks. Let's make a low enemy chance for that. This enemy is probably going to be very annoying to fight because blocking, this enemy already blocks and has blocking as well, and that's just very frustrating. Alright, let's give this a shot. Basilica is like a shady version of the Chamber of Innocence from Act 5, and it has the same boss, believe it or not. Yeah, notice how long these enemies are taking to kill. That's because they're blocking all my attacks. Very frustrating, that. I don't think they can block my Call of Steel, though. You refuse to believe that the Basilica has the Chamber of Innocence boss? The answer is more likely than you think. I tend to have the mini-maps centered for research, but it's not really needed. You generally get a feel for the layout when you rush to the end for it.
This is not good.
And the main reason you clear Betrayal encounter, or you rush to the end for a Betrayal research encounter, is just because all the enemies stop destroying stuff and breaking the encounter afterwards.
I'm going to kill you, Giannis.
Alright, there we go.
You killed me. Now I'll kill you. Make this one.
Villain scoundrel. Slink back to the sea.
Your captain has arrived.
I don't want to die again.
Alright. Let's see what Guff has to say. Rank to Guff. Guff is the only member of the Syndicate I actually like seeing go away. And we got Syndicate Safe House. Very nice.
That's the sense I was hoping for.
Oh, Thane is here too. Thane's kind of bloodthirsty, if I recall. Kind of an Ezomite, I recall. Lore-wise, very tribal. Might and politics, two sides of the same coin. A clever bit of writing there. A lot of the you can get a vibe for a lot of the characters in this game just from their little dialogue quips. I actually like it. You get a feel for a character even without having to follow a story.
Thanks to your warm nights.
And Jun has an exclamation point over her head because we gathered enough intel to do a safe house, which we'll do in a moment. Might as well. I'm not sure if returning projectiles does end up doing more damage, but it sure as hell feels more fun. It just hits everything so much more. Ah, Mana Siphoner, my least favorite modifier in the game. It looks gaudy, it's very tedious to deal with. Downright dangerous sometimes. I'm not a fan of some of the rare modifiers that just are more visually cluttered than the enemy themselves. I feel like generally they take away what the enemy's doing rather than like accentuating it. And you essentially are not fighting the monster anymore, you're fighting the monster's modifiers. And that to me doesn't feel that great, but that's okay. That's the way the game is. Where is the boss now? Here he is. Hey look, it's Conley, the Unrepentant. Basically the same boss as High Templar of Arius and Innocence later. I forgot this boss had only his phase change at halfway. Unlike Avarius, you get experience and loot from the enemies in the ad phase. More importantly, or not more importantly, or actually maybe more importantly, enemies do have modifiers or magic monsters during this part, and that's actually kind of scary. Alright, Innocence is here now. Or, sorry, what is his name now? The Cleansing Light. Go figure. He is the torch. He is the Emperor. Yeah, see how some enemies have like Molten Shell now and some rare modifiers that are slightly annoying to deal with. And the Prayer Guards are still here. Our unique Prayer Guard friends. Also, I think Innocence, or the Cleansing Light boot, has a faster phases than Avarius and Innocence did. When, though that might be a map modifier. When, Innocence and his, clone here do their lightning dash, if they raise their hand up in the air, they're about to do a slam that's not really announced by Innocence like all of his other moves. It's kind of silly. We killed him before he did his bullet hell move. Very nice. We got barrel chambers. More importantly, effective leadership. More veiled items. And since we're full on inventory, I'll take this opportunity to go to my hideout and take a look at some items to craft. Life, Gold, and Chaos Res, you say. And Reflect, which is pointless, but whatever. I might keep this. And oh, Calm's Primacy, it's a Rage Axe. With Culling Strike, it generates Rage. And fizzes extra fire per rage, which unfortunately is useless for us. Decent axe though, if we did do fire damage. And time to unveil items. Elemental damage from hits, avoidance. I don't know if that's actually matters, but neither of these do. Increased damage during flask effect. That's an interesting one. I'd rather have the hybrid armor evasion in life. And then the ring, mana regen. Sorry, mana and... yeah, mana regen. Dexterity and avoid freeze chance. And the rest is just... this is all vendor fodder.
Salah.
There are 2 syndicate members I'm looking for, and I think they're not on this tree right now, so I am going to have to
Warm nights.
remove some old members. Actually, there's only 1 syndicate. No, there's 2. One gives me better mana consumption, and the other nets me more physical damage mitigation. Or technically Fizz taken as a different element, which inherently is more mitigation against physical. A very good defensive layer. Yeah, damage is actually okay right now. I'm actually kind of surprised. Like, it's not great, and obviously terrible against some bosses, but I'm pleasantly surprised. That this build that is very piecemeal and very unplanned is still doing okay. Oh, we got a dungeon. And Dendrobate. This is like a poison jacket, so if you're running a poison build, this is very good early on. It can be upgraded later, but until then it's actually pretty good. More royal version nuts, we'll take those.
I can't do this just yet.
Ah, Silver Flask. We can get Onslaught with that. And there's still a little bit more. Oh yeah, the Basilica is shaped like a cathedral. Cathedrals are often in real life shaped like crosses, and Basilica is very similar to that. Isn't that neat? Fun factoid for you. Iceberg. Amethyst ring is actually worth seeing. Had pretty poor luck getting Necropolis corpses to appear. That's okay. Oh, here's one. Ta-da!
How do you find a corpse of this misty emptiness? Oh, I see now. How strange.
Yeah, Aramore, I think, is referring to the fact that we're doing maps and finding corpses in the void of maps. This weird dream world area. I guess he can recognize his teleports or something. Alright, so we got some few more maps. Not a great roll, but we could use an essence on that maybe. Silver Flasks are kind of neat. They just give you Onslaught, which is attack and movement speed. It's nice. This is an elemental res item, but not a good one. Life and Chaos res. Maybe. These are in the maybe tier. This is in the crafting tier. And nothing else stands out, so vendor it all. Alright, next up.
Thanks to your hard work.
Joan has a safe house for us, so we show the investigation and we click the safe house. There's 4 different types of safe houses for the 4 different wings. Intervention's always on a beach for some reason. You think they would change their hideout after being found out the first time, but here we are. Maybe there's just a lot of beaches. Oh yeah, the mini-map's revealed on a Syndicate area. The other notable thing is Syndicate maps give double XP. So it's an okay XP farm too. There's going to be curses, and curse is a very annoying modifier. you can get slowed, take more damage, and to deal less damage with curses. Ah, fingerless silk gloves. Those are equivalent to those grip gloves I have, but they increase spell damage implicitly rather than projectile damage. Kind of nifty. Yeah, but normally Syndicate dies faster than this, but alas, we are not. Again, Paper Cut Trend doesn't do much damage, so all that making a character that doesn't do damage to make the playthrough slower is feeding back into the Epilogue being slower than usual. I would say the game's pretty much balanced around maps in terms of builds. If you make a build that's good for maps, it tends to overpower the campaign too quickly. And if you make a character just right for a campaign, the maps become a little rough. It's very little, so I guess the balance is a little off there. Somebody has Trickster. Or create Ice Wall and flee, as the modifier says. It's very obnoxious, this thing here. Don't think I don't see you. I might leave you alone. You keep doing this. Where'd he go? There he went. He'd be less annoying if he didn't have exploding orbs, I tell ya. Oh, he's dead now. Apothecary gloves are very similar to sorcerer, or sorry, silk, fingerless silk gloves, and ripped gloves. They just do damage over time instead of the other types. We will not be using it. So I think last time I decided that I was going to go for retaliation. I think that's fair. There is an argument, however, for beelining towards Iron Grip. What's my accuracy again? 5k. I'm actually going to do that. I think Iron Grip would be more damage overall. Alright, let's put a portal down.
You have become tangled in our tapestry, Exile. Time to... We do not tolerate...
For some reason, Zavorichi's dialogue doesn't finish before he attacks. And there's Guff. Oh, Elrond? No, Elrond isn't here. Darn, I was hopeful. Note that for hideouts you have to interrogate, and the syndicate gets shuffled. So you just have to deal with that. There is a strategy that you always get syndicate members back in their hideouts called syndicate blocking. I don't know if it's still in effect, but it's cool. Intervention gives you scarabs. That's what intervention does. The different hideouts give different rewards, and different syndicate members give different rewards. It's actually pretty involved. And here we go. Oh, we picked up everything just in time. And the music's kind of good. Alright, Jun, unveil some items for me. Fizz converted to gold, sure. Blast charge, reduce gain, more effect. Kind of neat. Trap throwing speed, doesn't matter, but it's fun to pretend. And I think the rest is just identifiable. Nothing great. And then we put up stuff. Alright, so now it's time for tier 7s, I guess. Let's see if we can finish this today. Question is, do we do tier 7s today? Because that's a whole tier to do. It took me, what, a decent amount of time just to clear only a few maps here. Only 3. Admittedly, I was stalling. We also did the safe house and did a little bit of intro gramble. Yeah, well, you know, I'm trying to keep it like roughly a tier map, so we'll keep going. Alright, dungeon. Let's see what you do. Reflect Fizz. Okay, we can't run that, so Scour. Binding. Fizz is cold, kind of terrifying, but and Blind One Hit's tedious, but it's runnable. Alright, let's begin. Ooh, that's rough. Max life, that's fine. Frenzy charge on hit is fine. Blessed Orbs is kind of neat, so we'll do that. Other same result. Let's begin. Dungeon may seem a little familiar to the prison. It's a little bit more red than a blue-ish green like the prison was. Lighting, it's different, therefore it's a totally different item. Now, blind normally just makes you have reduced accuracy. In dimly lit areas like the prison and the dungeon here, it has an added layer of reducing light radius. Normally this doesn't matter because a lot of areas in Path of Exile are just well lit. But in something like this, notice how dim everything is when I'm blinded. Even nighttime areas don't have dimly lit stuff going on.
You win. Let's parlay.
You cheated.
Alright, we got all 3 of them. And then in 1 second, light radius back up. Or not, because we got hit by the lightning. Okay.
Hate myself.
Execute Hillock. Breaker. No. Yanis. No.
Yes, I'm a powerless, but how much does that
Let's release Riker. And because we get a better reward from the other guy.
Just not yet.
Alright. Portal down. Rush to the end. Oh, bad area. What is on Earth is this layout? That was a very mazy one.
appreciate the complexity of my
dirt, worm.
No, not possible.
Oh, Riker's here. Totally thought that was Eichling. Or that was the Eichling was Riker. Destroy items is very welcome.
Work?
Vegan and research can be good if I recall. I'm not sure though. They changed it a little bit. Oh, not vegan, Varici. Oh well. No items dropped, so here we go. Alright, onwards to this area. Oh, Recurse with Enfeeble. That's why we're not doing as much damage. We weren't doing much damage to begin with, I just was noticing enemies were taking a lot of hits. I think that's a Syndicate Fortress over there. It looks... Then I didn't see the transportation icons, so yeah, here we go.
No more deals. Just good, clean violence.
One thing I didn't notice until very recently was that the Fortress lasers come in different colors. I think that's the lightning variant of the Fortress, or maybe physical. I actually don't know how many variants there are, if it's just the elements or if it's also physical and chaos. That'd be fun trivia. If you were to host a Pee-wee trivia night.
It's nothing personal.
Yeah, that impales are really kicking in.
Defeated within my own walls.
Alright. Leo, no. Varici, no. Both of you have very bad betrayal options,
Back
so
in my arena master days,
I'll release Varici. Or release Leo.
no job is worth
Janice and Intervention, I forget what you do there.
I propose.
Guess Expedition Scarabs.
It seems to me that no job.
You know
is
what?
worth
That's fine.
a wise decision. I do hope we cross paths.
Hello. Welcome to the slow playthrough. Yeah, Varici used to be a very good betrayal option. It was less that, but in that case it wasn't necessarily that Varici was bad in that scenario, it was more that Varici betraying another character would not have been ideal. Varici used to be very good in research, but they changed how he worked. Now he's okay, I think? Not as good? There was a huge nerf change, we'll say, that mostly is a nerf to Betrayal. That was an attempt to try to mitigate the amount of reliance on other players, so that basically you could itemize and just sell items to players rather than having to make them come to your Betrayal hideout. It worked. Well, we'll see how it works in the long run. This league, it was not that favorably received because it resulted in some indirect nerfs. Or maybe direct nerfs, who's to say? But nerfs nonetheless. Dungeon is not really a great layout. I think the monster packs are pretty dense. Like, you fight a decent amount of monsters in this map. An interesting note about maps is they actually don't have the same amount of the same amount of monsters usually. Like, some maps have easily like a few hundred more monsters in them than others. Like, which is roughly like what can we say, 20% more monsters sometimes, or it's a pretty big range. But the trade-off is some maps have way better layouts than others. And yes, Varici used to give you white sockets on research, which is very, very, very good. But doesn't do that anymore, and makes white sockets even harder to get, which... I don't know if I brought up that you can get white sockets and items. Oh yeah, here's Beyond. I think I brought up Beyond before, where enemies slayed and close together brings enemies from Beyond. I haven't come across a Beyond boss yet, though. Seem to be marked with Assassin's Mark right now, and that's frustrating. Oh, the joys of having a very low damage build early on. We might be able to salvage this build. Like I said in the initial part of this playthrough, I wasn't sure how far I would take this. I had some goals, but I don't know if we'll reach them if it takes this long. There we go, they're dead. There's the random mark person. Well, side areas generally aren't worth doing, even if I could clear faster than I do. The items they tend to give can be gotten elsewhere, and their difficulty doesn't really merit their investment, or their rewards. Their rewards don't merit their difficulty, rather. There are some edge cases for this, but in practice, if you see a Val side area without those edge cases, they're just incredibly worth skipping. So, we're just doing it for demonstration purposes, really. The Forgotten Oubliette. There's a fixed amount of names for Valside areas. I didn't know that Borderlands 2 had a similar vibe in music to this side area here. I haven't listened to the soundtrack for Borderlands 2 too much, but I honestly could see that, like the desert-ish style. Yeah, I won't be playing any OSTs right now, because we're just doing the playthrough here. If it was the casual stream, I would, but this is kind of like a pseudo Let's Play style thing that I'm doing right now. With the gimmick of playing slowly, I guess. So the book always indicates the Val boss. Let's go kill it real quick. I may have made errors here. Correction, we are going to backtrack and hide behind this wall while I try to clear out enemies a little bit more than I have. Physical resistant and Trail of Fire, I think. Let's see. So who is this boss? Conaria, Shadow of Malice. I guess the gimmick is you just have Rain of Arrows. Okay, that's great. All side area bosses are, I think, derived from Invasion League, where they had a bunch of specialty bosses, and then they grafted them over to Sacrifice of the Vol bosses. We're just leaving. That enemy is being too obnoxious. Sometimes music sounds similar. I'll have to give it a check. It'd be funny if it was too similar, but I don't mind that usually. Other than the can't unhear it kind of vibe. Oh wait, we're not. This is not the Valside area I was leaving. But we can keep going until I run out of inventory. Even with Enfeeble, the enemies feel less tanky than the Valside area. Yeah, I'll have to check that later. Not right now, though. Again, this is not the time for it. It'll have to be... Because again, I don't want to. I want to just keep this more related to PoE. That is funny, though, if it is the case. I believe it. I mean, there's a song from the hit MMO Final Fantasy XIV that's basically Worlds Collide from Power Man 5000, or whatever they're called. Also, I wonder, which game came first, Borderlands 2 or Sacrifice of the Vol? I honestly don't know. I know they're both pretty old. Sacrifice of the Vol was 2014. Borderlands 2, probably earlier than that. I'll have to double check. Oh, 2012. So yeah, Borderlands 2 came first. Alright, let's see. What do we have here? Additional rank is nice, but we'll get some more Betrayal Veiled chance. Alright, that's dungeon. Oh yeah, the boss is Brutus because it's dungeon. Oh, more than 50 monsters made. That's the annoying part about dungeon. The tile set's awful at clearing, which is why it does have a decent amount of monsters in it, but oh boy, does it lay out its layout kind of congested, we'll say. Honestly, this is one of the few maps where if I kill the boss and there's still more than 50 monsters remaining, I'll probably leave it, because it is just that much backtracking. What track in Borderlands is that? Before I click it, like which zone does it play in? Oh, Ghastly Theater. Thousand Cuts. Okay. Where does it play in the game? Is, I guess, what I was asking. Let's see. None of these are good. Identifying rare items is kind of a futile effort. Okay. Ghastly Theater is like a high armor evasion energy thing, and it gives physical aegis, I guess, which that's neat. I recall it being a decent spectral shield throw item because it has such high armor and evasion, but beyond that I don't see it used much. Or maybe it does get used, I'm just being cynical. I don't think you have. I'm playing SSF right now, though. As far as flask giving. Oh, one charge hit by immunity from corruption. The less duration bricks this granite flask, otherwise it'd be pretty good. Again, this is kind of a demonstration playthrough going on right now, which is why I'm avoiding like normal music and just idling around. It'll have to be later after this session's done, And Basilica. Basically, I'm doing like a session, like a tier. Basically, once I finish the tier 7s, which is a little bit, or if I feel that I'm going on too long, these sessions take, we got it at probably about 30 more minutes. And then it'll be more deviant of a stream. Let's see. Because I'll probably not be finishing all the tier 7 maps right now, because as you can see, there's way too many of them, but... Oh well. I could play them side by side if needed. It doesn't... I will play it. Just not for this video. Because this is a VOD that's going to go... This will be put up on YouTube and VODed and stuff. Let's see...
Exile.
No good items here, and that's okay. Alright, so now... I think the plan, given how long the session's been, is probably to finish all the tier 7 maps I have, and then we'll resume the rest of them next time. This is cold, endurance charge, always ignites. Less armor, less block. This is a map that'll deal damage to me, but that's okay. Activate. Orbs of Unmaking. That's actually something I want to put on the highest roll. And the rest is whatever. Expecting the Kirak? Partially. I haven't gone all the way with it. I put points in Jund first just to get crafts for SSF. Kirak's probably going to be next. Because, yeah, Kirak's great for map completion, for sure. Templar Court... Courthouse is similar to the Templar Courts from Act 5. The boss is not the same, though. There was no boss in Templar Courts, for one. Right, the Comprehensive Scouting Report's really good for getting some really rare maps that don't appear normally. Which might be good, but... The Burning Matron isn't Templar Courts, that's Oriath Square. The Torch Courts does have a unique boss, though. Rival rivalries? No thank you. Blue turquoise, we want that. Then intervention should happen right about now. No? Really? Okay. Be that way. But yeah, this is the early Act 5 Templar. Oh, here we go. Oral Goya, right? Riker Maloney. So, Janus, lore-wise, Janus Parandus was the one who betrayed the Syndicate. Oh my, we are in danger. Because enemies are doing more damage and penetrating my armor a little bit more than normal. This is why having damage is good, because you can kill enemies before they are actually a threat. But that's okay. Alright, let's kill Riker to level him up. Janus? No. Verici? Actually, Janus kind of sucks, or Janus. I'll just betray. Because I actually do want a different Syndicate member. Right, I heard Parandus is super rare as far as corpses to find. I have a few, but not nearly as much as pretty much everything else as far as corpses you can find. And I don't think, and I bet there's like a rarer family member out there. Alright, let's talk to Jun after I murder some syndicate members. Or murder some enemies around the research area. Yeah, I'm curious which family member of the Parandus family corpses that you find in one is 10 times rare. I'm not surprised at all. Okay.
Man of this proving ground, but I still have to do my job.
Megan, you're annoying. Stop being annoying.
I'm honored to serve such
Is that Tora? No, that's Ren. Oh, why are you so tanky?
One death is as good as
Oh, well, we did it. Oh, because endurance charges on head. That explains a lot. And you're gonna run away in time.
you.
So close, though.
you know.
Oh, guff.
Hit us with a new strategy next time, Vegan. I look forward to it.
Alright. And we have a breach here. Might as well open it. If it's Esh, it is Esh. It's always Esh. Esh is the most dangerous of the breaches. Arguably, Chul is more dangerous. If you have low chaos res, which I don't. But of course, it's Esh instead. Esh does lightning damage, and if you're not resistant to, if you don't have shock immunity, you're in for a painful time. It's fun. Oh, there's an Eternal Sword. I kind of want to pick it up and see what it looks like. Nope. We are looking for high-tier one-handed sword bases, but honestly, this build might respec into two-handed axes very soon. Or maybe two-handed swords earlier, and then two-handed axes. We'll see. Getting more maps, that's very nice. And... ah, Reef. I actually need that. What's difficult about Ivory Tower? Is it just like button pressing, or is it like like trying to gear properly for it? What is that damage? Oh, Corrupting Blood. Makes sense. Here's the boss, by the way. The boss is just a trio of... I want to say these are the physical damage warband. There's... warbands are just like a few enemy types. Iceberg has a warband. Acid Cavern has a warband, if I recall. Lighthouse has one. Not sure what other things these could be based off of, really, if they're not a warband. Keep expecting them to run away, because I've been fighting so many groups of Syndicate members. There we go. Oh, and what? Deerskin, Deerstalker. So by mental, do you mean that it's just like mentally taxing to have to try to craft that over and over? Because it does sound very complicated to get the Spore Guard for Ivory Tower. Alright, well, we are going to warp out to find some items, or to identify some items. Not good, Very not good. Brandis buy these out of shame. And then we will happily get John to unveil some stuff here. Strength, dex, accuracy, that's not bad. Boots. Aha! Chill immune, that's actually really good. High movement speed. Actually, this is probably an upgrade for me in some ways. It has more movement speed than what I currently have, just less chaos res, which we can craft on. Ayo, upgrade. Just from unveiling. That happens sometimes. At least early on. Double damages focus. Crit nearby, maybe. You rob someone on trade? Eh. No shame in that. Let's see. Axes, crit. Yeah, let's just vendor some of these. Oh, I have to unveil the amulet. Let's get that done. Totem placement speed. Might as well. It's not useful to me, but it's higher item level than this by far. We could maybe throw craft on it. Anyways, the real upgrade was the friends we made along the way.
Keep your eyes sharp.
Shameful how much you stole it for. Watcher's Eye, Prismatic Jewel. 30 div. Yeah, that's actually really disgusting. I agree. Let's see. So, we have a chill immune. Boots. With better life roll. Less cold res, right? But I have so much cold res already. This is quite very much an upgrade. We just throw some chaos res on it and we're fine. I'm overcapped on resistances as is. Wonder why. Do I have any spare essences that I can throw on for jewelry? I guess getting intelligence would be fine. Jewelry evasion rating. Oh, here we go. Let's give this a shot. This leeches mana. That's actually not bad. But everything else is awful about it, so no. Though Fizz leeches mana is kind of nice. Fair enough. Alright, let's see. I want to craft these boots to have some chaos res, and how much what chaos res do you want to do? We were low on fire at the most. So fire and chaos res. We'll throw 3 chaos at that. Note that even though I have fire res on this, it does count as a different modifier as far as the pool, so I'm allowed to craft fire and chaos as well. Let's see. Eyes of the Great Wolf. Oh yeah, this is interesting in that it doubles the corruption, and so if you get the right corruptions on this, this is disgusting. Oh no, yeah. So, interesting talisman. Or unique. And can be very powerful with the right combos. This one's pretty fucking disgusting. Let's see, as far as I can appraise it. So now we just need to get the right sockets on this, so quality please. And this stays in the crafting spot. But yeah, we just have a direct upgrade now, which is very welcome. More or less. Craft that. We got the perfect links. Now, do we care about links at all? Yes. Okay. The good ones are a mirror now for some of that. Are they legacy, or is it just like the chance of it is so annoying? Let's see. Boot. I can stay there. And our chaos res is a little lower, but not low enough to be huge of a loss. What maps do we have left in tier 7s? Waste pool. Ugh. Alright, let's see. Chaos damage, Fizz's extra chaos, a really annoying modifier. With vulnerability, that's going to be even worse. I don't like Fizz's chaos, honestly. I'm going to roll over that. Temporal chains is equally annoying. It's doable, I just don't want to do it. You're being slowed. Fast monsters, this is fine. Do I have precision aura on? No, I don't. Okay. We can run this. Alright, Chromatic Orb, that's fine. Chill. We're immune to chill now, so isn't that great? Poison, a little annoying, but fine. Waste Pool is Doidre's cesspool, and the boss is the Act 8 Doidre fight. Waste Pool has a similar sewer tile set to one called Toxic Sewer. It has a different boss. However, Toxic Sewer is much more appreciated due to slightly different layout of area. Wait, who's alive here? Oh, Chimera is still alive. So is the reason that this is the reason that people don't run Waste Pool is just because of the boss? Because yeah, the boss is annoying. I'll agree to that. Coral, you can rank up. Ah, we got the helmets. 2 of them. We have a good chance for Coral to give us what we want. And some intel. Because otherwise, the layout doesn't seem too different. But I guess it is a little bit.
Every time you kill me, I just come back.
Layout's less good for Blight. Interesting. Alright, Riker.
Much to be learned. Just a glimpse, Exile.
And we get... oh, Carnage Pillars. That's Corrupting Blood right there. Alright, we'll do the Syndicate Lab. Yeah, they're similar tile sets, but wait, Toxic Sewer wins out and has a less annoying boss. With less phases and less threat. Well, if you have low chaos res, the Toxic Sewer boss can be slightly annoying.
A spot more. Wheeling and dealing.
Congratulations on the legacy item. Varici moves to research. I'm curious what Varici does in research these days. Oh, Harvest Scarabs. That's okay, I guess. But that is way worse than before. Who's Varici into Harvest lore-wise, do you think? There's probably no correlation. I guess Harvest has white sockets, so maybe that's the rationale. Anyways, Loose Grate. Unlike the Doidra's Cesspool, the Grate doesn't have a tile set unique to it, just as a little weird corner area. I think Doidra died pretty fast last time, but there's a valve, you can change it if the curse stacks up too much. She's called Portentia the Foul now. Legacy Endagon. Okay. Additional rank is fine. And items. Less than 40 divs for a Legacy Endagon. What's the Legacy rolls? Oh, the spell damage for mana stacking. Yeah, that's disgusting. And yeah, standardly, if people are playing, then who knows what the trades are. All right, let's finish Waste Pool. Colossal Tower Shield that I can't fit in just yet. But with Inventory Shuffle, we absolutely can. Inventory Tetris, the best. Alright. Yeah, this layout is a little bit more... The thing about Toxic Sewers is it loops into itself better. But, thinking about Toxic Sewer, yeah. Waste Pool is a little bit more meandering, annoyingly enough, and a little bit more narrow corridors, I feel. Ever so slightly. Maybe that's just me, yeah. Waste Pool definitely has more narrow passages. It's interesting seeing how there's even tinier differences. Oh, congratulations on Altar. I know those are disgustingly expensive these days. I'll take a look in a second, because A, fighting, and just trying to get this done. Yeah, we got a shore. Unfortunately, that's a map we've already completed. And 48 monsters remain. We'll clear it. I think they're over here, so we'll clear it out.
I believe in traveling light.
Alright, there we go. Let's see what we have here. So, Shaper's Touch. Oh, because of Commandment of Reflection, I could see that. With Elemental Weakness, yeah, and Tart Asphyxia's Wrath. Very nice. I have been playing since, let's say, open beta, but I wasn't playing too hard then. Yeah, I have an account. I've tried the game since open beta. OG roll? Oh, okay, let's see what the OG roll is. Oh, more an energy shield, so legacy stuff. Nice. Okay, let's see. And that's it. Yeah, I saw that. Let's see. I saw the legacy stats on it just now. Here we go. I don't think I have any bugged items. Let's see. That's gone, or that's trash. Ornament of the East is a nifty is a nifty kind of low-level claw, but can't evade with it, so that's pretty good. There's a shield that's better for it. I forget what other unique we got. Oh, On's Heritage. On's gear all goes minus charges, either Endurance, Power, or Frenzy, I think. Or maybe it's all Endurance. And gives you benefits for having low charges. Oh, interesting. Flash mods on a weapon, hilarious. Oh yeah, Soul Strike. Do I already have one of those? What does this do? Energy shield thing? Anything about this lore? No. I'll... let's see. Not familiar with the Flask alt art bug. Oh, percent life. That's actually a decent craft to get when you can't get the other chest craft that people go for. Fortification while focused. That's kind of okay. More skeletons and zambos. Frenzy charge and crit, we don't care about that. Attack and cast we do. Evasion while focused. Fizz taken as fire, we got it. That's actually a very good craft to have. We might even craft on that if we have an open prefix. We do. Alright, so... we don't need the item. Plus 5 charges per use. Oh, that's funny. It's almost like a fishing item. Alright, anyways. How many more tier 6s do we have? Or tier 7s? We're out. And we could fish for more. But the stream has been going on for nearly 2 hours, and that's about the length of these episodes. Let me see here. So we'll end the episode and do the normal stream in a second. Just make sure Kirak isn't selling anything I need. Oh, silo. And we'll do that. Let's see. I'd be interested to see it. It'd be funny. Yeah, we'll avoid silo for now because it's going on. Alright, so next time we'll finish up the tier 7s and see what the tier 8s have in store, because we do have map bosses then. We'll hopefully break through the Doldrums of the tier 6 to 8 grind